It was like any summer night, and me and my roommate were getting ready for a night out. I remember getting dressed in one of my favorite tank tops to show off my tan I had been working on all summer, put on my white skirt, headed out. Every time I went out to a bar, it was without fail. I had different guys buy me drinks, give me compliments, show me affection and love. My value began to be in what they thought of me. So this night, I recall meeting a gentleman who was a little odd and just kept going with the night. No big deal. Next thing I know, I am waking up from being unconscious on a bed with a man who I to this day don't know his name. I felt like I must have been drugged. He was ripping my clothes off, and I remember saying the words to him, "I'm a virgin, please don't do this. I'm a virgin, please don't do this." I remember his strength, but I don't remember making eye contact with him. I didn't make eye contact with him. I didn't want to. I was yelling for my girlfriend, trying to get help, and quickly realized I was alone. He looked me in the face and said, "You're alone. No one's here. Your friends left you." After he raped me, I remember sitting on his kitchen floor with my hands in my knees and stayed up with my thoughts that it was completely my fault. I failed. The one thing I could offer to my husband, which was my virginity, was now taken away from me in a split second. I tried to convince myself that I was in a nightmare and it wasn't true, but it was. And I remember getting to my apartment door. I had a choice to make in that moment. Do I tell the friend what happened, or do I lie? And I remember in that moment making the decision that I would never tell a soul about what happened that night, that I would be judged, and that it would be my fault ultimately. So I walk in the door and act like nothing happened. I felt like before the rape, I was worthy of a guy that was this good. But since I had gotten raped and lost my virginity, I'm now worthy of a guy that's this good. And because I'm drinking and partying and living in sin, I'm now worthy of a guy that's this good. Rarely were conversations deep. I was attracting and dating guys who would push me to the point to where I would ultimately give in. Rarely was time spent together meaningful, have sex with them. I felt like the relationship was a transaction. Every time after, the guilt eating me alive to where I would end the relationship. And it wasn't a month later, I dated another guy. I found myself consistently clinging to anybody that would fill that void of that loneliness, yet they never did. I remember a point, July 8th, we're at my favorite pub at the time, and another guy was focusing on me and trying to make an advance at me. And I, in my heart, knew there was something off about him. I would go to the bathroom and come back. I noticed after I took a couple drinks that there was more in the drink than originally. And I asked my friend, "Is this my original drink?" And she said, "No, this guy bought you a drink." And instantly I knew that I had been drugged again. So I told her, "I've got to go right now." That night, I made it home safely. But waking up the next morning in my bed alone, after being drugged and escaping what felt like a repeat, put me in a place where I knew something had to change. I did something that I hadn't done in years, and I had a conversation with God. I asked him if he was real, then he needed to say something in that moment. I heard a voice in my heart say, "Look up the meaning of your name." The definition that populated over and over and over again was unique, alone, only one, unique, alone, only one. And I was angry at God. Why would my name mean alone when I have felt so alone in this pain and in this secret for years? And I heard the voice of God in my heart again say to me, look up the meaning of your middle name, Amanda. And when I typed it in Google, the definition that popped up over and over again was worthy of love. Worthy of love, worthy of love, worthy of love. And it was in that moment that I felt the physical wraparound presence of God's love overcome me. And it was in that moment where I really felt God say to me, you are worthy of my love. You always have been. It's your identity. It's your name. That was the moment that I made the choice to surrender my life to him. I said to him, I'm yours. Whatever you want me to do, I'll do. It was one night through prayer and journaling that I felt the Lord really prompt me to tell people what I had been through. So I'd gathered a group of girls in my living room, and I said to the girls, tonight, we're gonna share our stories. This was the first time I had shared this with anybody. I had no clue what they were going to say. As I began to tell them, I remember looking at some of the girls in the circle and seeing tears streaming down their face and thinking, are they feeling sorry for me, or is this hitting something in them? As the night went on and they began to open up and share their stories, over half the group shared a similar experience that they had been through in their life, whether they were children when it happened or adults like myself. I remember these women speaking truth to me for the first time that I'd ever audibly heard with my own ears, that it was not my fault that I was raped that night. It was not God's heart for me to lose my virginity that way, that I was not damaged goods. And that night was pivotal in me taking the steps towards finding healing, to truly experience life on the other side of rape. As I've connected with other women who were raped or molested, the thing that we connect the most on is how lonely and isolating keeping a secret like this can be. But it doesn't have to be. God's word says, I will work all things for the good of those who love me, who are called according to my purpose. God, he will turn it around. The moments that I began to seek counseling, healing, moments that I found connection with other women, truly felt like layers of this heavy jacket I had worn of shame were being taken off of me as I began to open up more and more. One of the things that God has spoken directly to me about was that when sin entered the world, it's in our human nature to hide. But God does not want us to hide from him. The less I hide from him, the more honest I am with him, the more I feel like myself and not like I have to be somebody I'm not. Today I am happily engaged to the love of my life and a man that is here, and I have forgiven the man that abused me. I can look back at my story and see how it is not something that has left me powerless, but made me powerful. I am passionate to create a safe place for people to share their own journey, pain, and struggle so that they too can experience the freedom of being on the other side.
What brings you joy today?
That question makes me emotional. What brings me joy is knowing that I'll get to have a family and I have someone that loves me for me, and that this didn't take me out, It's not my identity. It's part of my story, but it's not who I am, because I was a super confident, secure girl before this, and I feel like I lost her. And to be
able to have her again is like awesome, you know? And to have a man that like loves me for being all of that, you know? It's pretty cool too. Okay, I can say that and not cry, potentially.
My name is Monica Zuniga Bailey, and I am second.